What up, folks, and welcome to episode 2 of the Stronger Than Steel podcast with my man Sipo Hugo. How you doing, buddy?
Good on yourself, man.
I'm good. This little duo here has been a little bit much anticipated.
It's not much to anticipate, Ed. It's literally a first and second place discussion right now. Second place is interviewing first place. Yeah, that's why.
It's second place. The jabs start from basically conversation one. Okay. Before we started, I was asking you like how you pronounce your last name and why on earth is a black man such profound as yourself named Hugo?
Well, it's a long one. I'm from the Free State. My family's originally from the Free State, so I think two generations before my granddad, we were actually, most of my ancestors were actually colored. So it was colored and then it went black. So that's how that happened. Never really questioned it that much. I just asked till that extent, and then I was told, I was like, okay, I don't want to know what happened before that.
You know what I love? Like black genes are so strong. 1 or 2 generations will erase everything that came before it. Because on my mom's side, I don't want to butcher it now. I think it's my great grandfather or something like that. Was some white German dude from Germany who came down and sampled the local cuisine type of vibe.
Yes.
And then my grandfather's father or grandfather's grandfather, one of the two on my dad's side, was supposedly Indian. And then you get me, and I'm like, you don't see none of that shit.
So is the case. So I've got to that a lot, especially when I was in high school, because I went to a Afrikaans high school in Bloemfontein. Well, it's a boys' school, predominantly Afrikaans. So I used to get that a lot from teachers. Why is your surname Hugo? I'm like, no, it's Hugo, not Hugo. I refuse to be called Hugo. I refuse.
I love that. No, Hugo Boss, man. Hugo Boss.
Yes.
Tell me, how is your Afrikaans stuff? I would imagine spotless.
No, it's awful. My girlfriend now is colored. She's trying to teach me. I absolutely refuse to learn. I can hear it. I refuse to speak Afrikaans. I don't know why. I just refuse to speak Afrikaans.
I'm the same way. I'm actually I was always shit at languages. Like I speak English really well because I have to communicate. But when you start asking me to break down how languages work and shit like that, even in English in high school, I was like borderline rubbish. No. So in Afrikaans, I'm like, I had no chance of learning another language. I had no chance.
As long as I'm able to understand and communicate, that's all that matters.
If you speak slowly, I know exactly what you're saying. I will respond in English, and I hope you know what I'm saying. And we'll get back.
But Cape Town Afrikaans is different, hey?
Yes, Cape Town when did you move to Cape Town?
2017. Well, actually, I came to Cape Town 2012 to study because I matriculated in 2011. Studied for 4 years, went back home, and then came back 2017.
Okay. Are we the exact same age?
Yeah, we are. We're literally turning 30 next year, Ed.
Fucking hell, I feel old. So fucking old. Everyone who's like 35 plus is now insulted that I feel old, but like, fuck, guy, how do you think age is a person?
Age is a personal thing. I really think that I feel it hurts me when Danielle says she's 22.
It's just something like that, man. She's fucking young.
It depresses me when I think of that these TK is 22, Danny Erasmus is 24. And these guys already doing what they did.
24. Even Nicholas is younger than us. Nicholas is like 20, 28, 27, somewhere there.
I think it's a year younger than us.
Yeah, younger, yeah. Fuck guy.
So we're going to be one of those guys who I used to be. We're going to be those
Not
guys.
yet, though. You're looks like you're coming up in the powerlifting game. Like you have a semi-decent squat, a pretty average bench, if you can hold on to it, a pretty good deadlift. For those of you who don't know, I hope I remember to put a clip here. Like you had a 360 at lockout and just decided to let go.
Look, I pulled 340 before that, right? And that 340
Yeah.
felt heavy. After I pulled it, I stood up and I took a deep breath. And then Andre, the late Andre, was actually the one who called for 360. Because I was going to go
Yeah.
like 350 or 355. 350, I think, was my next, what I had in mind. And he said, no, you have 360. So my thing with the 360 was that I just wanted to, I don't want to fail. You know, one of those fails where it doesn't even budge off the floor. I didn't want one
Yeah.
of those. I just wanted to move. So when it got past my knees, I got shocked that I might actually lock this out. I don't know what happened. I just couldn't. So I just let go because I was stuck in that position and
Where
I
it's
just
like
couldn't
can't
lock it
hit
out.
the hips too.
So I just let it go. I was like, next time we'll. But you should be grateful that I locked that out. I didn't lock it
Listen,
out. You should be.
listen.
I didn't lock.
The only reason I chose 360 at Elite Raw after that was because I'm like, if I do this, I officially have one up over you.
No, you did that to match my total, Ed. If I had done 360, I would have had a 980 total. 890 total.
890,
890
you had
total.
890.
So you should be grateful. You should be very thankful.
Well, you didn't, did you? You didn't. So on paper, you and I even, motherfucker.
No. Don't forget, you also dropped the deadlift. That 362. 20, what
That
was
was
it?
years
28?
ago, man. Fuck, that was 2019. That was years ago.
That's not years ago. And you still haven't redeemed yourself for that because technically 360 is what? 2.5 kilos less? So you still have that over your head.
Coming. You know what? I was
Yeah, right.
debating which competition I want to do next year. I know I want to do something early-ish in the year, so Nationals is decently far away, somewhere in March. And like I think there's Cape Town, 4th of March. There's Durban on the 11th. And now Nicole was like, "Oh, we should do Durban. Durban's fun. I like the vibe. I like the area. Blah blah blah." I was like, "No, fuck that. I want to do Cape Town just so I can meet this man on the platform. We can settle this once and for all."
Look, with regards to competing next year, I know there's the WPC qualifier in March.
Yeah, March 4th.
And then there should be Unleash the Beast, which was the comp I did last year, which will be in April. They just haven't given us the date yet for that. So I'm still torn between the two.
Okay.
Because the one in March, if what's this, that elite draw thing, if they're doing the same thing where if you hit the number, you can then qualify for elite draw, then I might actually do the one in March so that I can qualify for elite draw. Or
I think it's also dependent on. I think it's also dependent on how many people they have going already, because like there's a limited. They invite from the top down.
Mm-hmm.
So they invite from the top down, I believe, and a certain cap on number of competitors. So, couple factors.
So
Dan can pop in the comment section what the actual process is, but yeah.
So if they're doing the same thing they did last year, then I will probably do the one on the 4th. If not, then I might as well do the one in April. Give me like an extra 3 or 4 weeks to prep.
Okay. I'm not keen on April myself, just because like that pushes it closer to nationals, and fuck. Like one thing I've noticed with my age now, I can't do back-to-back meets anymore. Like I need I need to be able to like chill for at least a month or two before I start prep again, or like my body goes into like it becomes a mess.
What you did with that, was it when you qualified for Elite Draw last year? And I think you had 4 weeks between.
4 weeks. It was 4 weeks. It was horrible. It was fucking horrible.
That was ridiculous. I was like, nah. If I was in your position, I'd have been like, I'm okay. I'll do it next year. No,
dude, and everything fucking hurt. Like everything fucking hurt leading up to it. Which is like I managed to total like 7.5 kilos more at thingy. Mm-hmm. Only because I saved a little bit in the tank on dids at the qualifier. But like it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I'm not doing that again. Like,
and then you did nationals with basically on one leg.
Dude, my right hip / knee still doesn't like me, eh? Like I'm still I have good days and I have like not so good days. Today, for example, was like a not so good day. Like my knee's fucking sore.
I honestly, I would have not. This is my thing with competing. I have this mindset where I have to be mentally ready to do it for me to follow through. If I'm not mentally willing to do it, then I'm not going to do it. Regardless of how good my prep is, or regardless of how bad my prep is, if I'm mentally there, I'll follow through. But if I'm not mentally there, which is what happened with nationals, because I just was like, nah. And then this previous one, the demolition one, I was supposed to do that, and then my abductor just so was like, nah, I'm not having it. And then I just mentally checked out. I'm not doing it, and that was it.
Now, me, I'm more, which is probably good for you. It avoids you unnecessarily pushing where you shouldn't actually. If like you've hurt something, you've niggled something, it's probably a better approach. Me, I'm more once of like, okay, that's the one I'm doing. That's what we're aiming for. I'm way too stubborn to not do it. Like I would literally have to be physically broken for me to pull out.
No, the thing is, what you're saying is correct in the sense that it can work to my advantage, but most of the time it actually is to my detriment, because when you look at the prep I did for this comp, the previous comp that I was supposed to do in November, and I think I was 8 weeks out, and I did a 322 triple in sleeves. So I was 8 weeks out. I was already.
You would have put on an impressive total. You would have put on an impressive total.
So when that happened, and I was just, the moment I checked out mentally, I knew that I'm not going to do this comp, even though I had an injury, because the comp I did in April, I was actually in hospital for 4 days, where they suspected that I tore my quad.
Yeah.
And then the day I was released, I deadlifted that same day. And 3 weeks later, I was on the platform. I strained my pec. I had 10 weeks to prep, basic, firstly. I had 5 bench sessions, because week 6, I strained my pec, and I couldn't do anything until the week of comp. I squatted 6 times in the whole prep. I think it was 6. And bear in mind, the last time I had reps on was in 2020 for a sustained period of time. So the last time I touched 300 plus was in 2020 in reps. So I decided 20 weeks I'm doing this. And that's why I say that mentally, if I have this, I'm doing it. Regardless of what happens, I could literally be in a wheelchair and I'll still do it. So it works. I get that. If I'm on the other side where I don't want to do it, it pulls me back a lot. So it's just one of those things that I'm still learning to navigate around.
I can see what the detriment. I mean, kudos to you. Like, I think me being in hospital for 4 days would have been enough to be like, listen, fuck it, I'm done. So for you to push through on that, that's actually impressive. But like, yeah, it also like if on days where even if you had gone into November half-assed, like your total would have probably still put you in one of the top performances in the country ever if you had just like half-assed your way into it.
That's the thing. So that's why. So I'm saying that it's an advantage at times, but most of the time it's a disadvantage, because if I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. Especially with strength sports and powerlifting, I'm very protective of it because of how I got into it and so forth. So if I don't want to do something, regardless of who says what, I'm not going to do it. If I want to do it, regardless of who says what, I will do it. So it's one of those things that I'm still learning to, as I said, manage that, or because I'm an athlete now, I can't take it that personally. If you understand what I'm saying,
I get you.
I need to be on the platform.
I get you. But let's go back into how did you get into the sports? Like, why are you so protective of it? Like, what was the origin there?
Got into the sport. I moved back to Cape Town 2017. Okay, when I went to UCT in 2012. Left I think it was 2015 or 2016. No, 2015. And then I spent a year in Bloom. which is where I come from. I'm from Bloemfontein. Did a year at UOFS, and then I came back in 2017 to Cape Town. So what happened during that time was that I went through a very bad depressive state. It was horrible. I ended up in like I don't want to call it a institution, but it was, my mind wants me to say an institution of crazy people. But I was just in a place where, yeah, I don't know what it's called. It's one of those places. And then during that time, there were also a few suicide attempts here and there. So 2017, when I moved back to Cape Town, I came across strongman initially. And then that sparked my interest. And then I just became obsessed with strongman and specifically strength sports. So 2017, 2018, that's all literally my life was around strength sports and specifically strongman. And then I think it was either 2018 or 2019, I met Reese van Skalkwyk. He then introduced me to Andre, and then the powerlifting thing started. And since then, it's been about powerlifting. I delayed competing until this year. So that's why for me, it's not just about the numbers. It's more about where I am mentally when I want to do a comp. So, and this might sound a bit boisterous of me, but I don't doubt that my next comp I could be able to break 900. I don't doubt that, but I need to mentally be invested in doing that, because when I did my previous comp in April, I was going for 900. That was my goal. It's like, okay, I'm going for 900. It's crazy. It's a 10-week prep. I haven't done this in this week. I don't care. I'm going for 900. Yeah, things happen. It's sad that I missed it by 30 kilos. It's sad, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. I have to mentally want to do it for me to follow through. And that's why the sport is more than just numbers to me. It really is an important part of my life, basically.
No, I get that. It's the outlet you needed when you needed an outlet the most. Like not just powerlifting, but like strength sports in general. That's actually deep, bro. Yo, I think like very few people know how much like if you could count how many lives strength sports have saved. Like it's actually ridiculous how many people have used it as an outlet for that.
Yeah. And that's why the older I get, the more protective I become. And I think the more protective I become, and the more I tend to, how can I phrase this correctly? And when, for instance, I don't know if it was the same for you. When I got into powerlifting, everyone was willing to help. Everyone was willing to give you advice. Everyone was willing to. I remember, sorry. I remember I did a 320 squat, and I sent the video to Snook, who, by the way, needs to come back. We're waiting for him to come back.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think
if you're watching this, buddy, we're waiting. Fucking hell.
Snook needs to come back. Eduardo's back, perfect. And then Matthew Leroux needs to also finally make his comeback to the stage. And then who those three basically. But yeah, back to what I was saying, Ed. What was I saying? I even lost my chain of thought, Ed.
We got lost in like all the guys would love to, and you know what, like if you go on a tangent for 2 seconds, like all of those guys coming back would probably be bad news for me and my trajectory, because I'm still trying to catch up to where they left off, and I'm on the precipice. I'm on the fucking precipice. Like next time I'm on the platform, motherfucker. Like I'm putting everybody on notice. But if they come back and roughly start where they left off, I'm fucked.
Remember when Michael left, he had a 892 total?
892, yeah.
Matthew has a 910, I think, a 910 total.
Yeah.
So imagine when they come back and literally start where they left off. What's going to happen?
Like assuming training has been going like more or less consistent. But you know what? It's guys like that, which I'm not sure if this is actually true, but I suspect it's true. You get some people like me, if I take a month off training for whatever reason, I'm starting several steps behind where I left off. Like my body does not hold on to its peak at all. Whereas you get other people, well, a classic example is like Nicole September. She went 2 years barely training. Like when I mean barely, I mean I don't think there was a string of 4 weeks where it was a consistent 4 weeks of training. It just wasn't there. She was barely training. 3 months of training later, 4 months of training later, she's pretty much exactly where she left off. And I'm like, I could not fucking do that, even if you offered me 10 million rand to do it. I wouldn't be able to. I just wouldn't be able to.
I think there's a line you use where you say that God has his favorites.
God has his favorites, man. God has his favorites. And it's not me. Everything I've gotten has been hard clawed. Like zero natural genetic advantage.
The thing is, you make it seem as if you like you're not a gifted athlete, firstly, and that you're not as good as everyone else. And that's nonsense, Dave. That's nonsense. The thing with you, I've studied your journey closely. The thing with you is that you use the gym for what it's meant for, which is to prepare you for the platform. And that's where you make it count, on the platform.
Yeah.
And that's an annoying thing, because if one follows you and what you're doing in the gym, you could be like, okay, I see, okay, all right. And then boom, on the platform, you just pull off a miracle. And it's like, where did that come from? Which is very annoying.
It's a lot of trend. A lot of trend helps.
But yeah, what we were talking about before that was I was saying that when we started in powerlifting, people were willing to help. There was a lot of people who were willing to help, and it was a more welcoming environment, which is, I believe, what kept a lot of us in it. There are still signs of that with it currently, and this might just be me being an old person now, where I feel like it's slightly changing in certain aspects, where it's not as welcoming as it used to be. It's not as open as it used to be. Maybe it's because of how competitive things are becoming. So, and again, I may be wrong. I hope I'm not starting some controversy here. But it's just my opinion on where it's at now. I'm not saying it's a complete, for lack of a better word, shit show, but it's changing a bit. Things aren't as family orientated or group orientated as it used to be, and it's a bit concerning.
I don't think I agree with you completely.
Okay.
I think it's maybe different, slightly different for guys like you and me who are like super competitive, and like you and I have this weird relationship where we're frenemies, where it's like I would like nothing more. I would like nothing more in this world than to totally annihilate you out next comp and have you like bow down at my feet. Nothing more. At the same time, though, you can be like, listen, I'm having this issue with my deadlift. Do you have any advice? And I'll be like, yeah, sure. Try this, try that, blah, blah, blah. It's like I'm helping the motherfucker I want to beat get better.
Yes.
So we have a unique sort of dynamic like that. And I think at the higher levels, there's probably not as much of that going on. But I don't know. I think as a whole, though, I think at the bottom level, there is there are, for lack of a better word, cliques in powerlifting where it's like this crew associates with this crew and that crew associates with that crew for the most part. But I think there is some openness going on. I think anyone who's a newbie coming in who raises their hand up and like, hey, listen, I need help. I don't think there'll be a shortage of help offered to that type of person.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Fair enough. Again, as I said, I may be wrong. Maybe
it's a personal thing. I think it depends where you're standing. I think it depends where you're standing, your perspective on things. But I don't know. I think there's a little bit of interfederation stuff going on, which I don't want to actually get into. Which is
let's not
I'm like, we're too small a sport to be fighting amongst ourselves. Way too small.
Let's not even get into that one, Ed. Yeah, because that's another topic all on its own.
Politics aside, though. What I did want to touch on to you though is like on the notion of like trend and stuff. Like are you conservative with your PEDs? Are you liberal? Are you like on all year? Are you on like certain parts in the year? Like what's your process on that?
Certain parts. When I started with PEDs, I used to be a walking experiment. Anything I heard of that helped, I tried it. And then later on, I realized that not as much. Like what's the phrase? A little goes a long way.
Yeah.
So I started being more conservative. For instance, for that comp in Unleash the Beast that I did, it was test and Mastron. And then I think about 4 weeks out, jumped on Superdrome. My life.
For that little kick at the end there.
Oh man. I don't want to, the love I have for that specific compound, Superdrome. Amazing. But let's not get into that.
It's I haven't done too much Superdrome. I don't know. Maybe next time. Masteron, I dug in terms of like in the gym and whatnot and how I feel and performance wise.
Yes.
I am starting to lose my hair though, and I am blaming Masteron for that. Like right there, I'm thinning. And I'm like, listen, bro, I've never had thinning issues before. Granted, I'm a little bit older now, so I'm a little bit more prone than I was younger. But I'm like, nah, fuck that. I ain't touching that shit again. I like my hair.
The Masteron, for me, it was between Masteron and Train. So I'm not a big fan of Train.
In the Train, we trust.
Look, I tried Train once. No. No.
A little too toxic for you. Listen, my coach absolutely fucking despises it. So since I've been with David, I have not been on any trend. But listen, I've never felt shitty on it. Like I actually felt like, okay, that's a lie. In general, towards a tail end, I don't feel great. Like I can feel like my body is trying to fight some shit off here. There's some toxins my kidneys and liver are trying really hard to get rid of. But for the most part, it's like I don't feel that bad, and like blood work and all that looks pretty decent even after a cycle. But like I don't know, Trend it wasn't that much worse than everything else in terms of how I felt anyway.
It doesn't agree with me. It doesn't really sit well with me at all, Trend. I once tried what's this? Halo.
Yeah.
Tried Halo. Amazing compound. However, unbelievably toxic. It's ridiculous how toxic that thing is. I tried it for a week and I immediately stopped. And it's expensive also, weirdly enough. But I tried it for a week and I still actually have it with me. I don't even want to touch it. It's still in the packet. I don't want anything to do with it. It's amazing, but it's ridiculously toxic. Also once tried a Napoleon. Naps, never again.
Been on naps. I dig it.
You dig it?
Yeah. Great.
How? Didn't affect your what you call this appetite?
Actually, yeah, it did. But I'm a fat boy at heart, so it's like I'm not actually hungry. But if the meal is nice enough, I can still shove it down. It's fine.
I couldn't eat it. I couldn't eat. I was on an Napoleon test and Deca once. I was unbelievably bloated. I think I still have a picture of how I looked when I shot up to 152 kilograms. That's the heaviest I've ever been.
Big boy life. It probably looked better on you than me. I think I peaked at like 151. Like I'm significantly shorter than you. It didn't look pretty on me.
I don't know. Like people who are like 160, 170, I don't know how they do it. Because just being 150, I felt it's ridiculous.
Don't talk shit.
Like now, I'm around the 130, 137, 138. The moment I go to 142, 143, I can feel it. And I immediately have to drop down because I can't sleep. My knees hurt when at the sight of stairs. Everything just becomes, the bottom of my feet are just constantly in pain. So
that big boy life ain't for everyone. Eh? Like for me at my height, I think I'm okay anywhere between like 110, 120. I'm still mobile enough, and I still move around. I can sleep fine. But anything above the 120 mark, and I'm like, and now I'm uncomfortable again.
So I really have respect for guys who are in the 160, 170, that region.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they fucking do it.
But
I want to go back a step and just preface a disclaimer: all the PED talk. How long from you started training to you started using PEDs, or what was that timeline?
2 years. 2 years, because I pulled 300 before I even jumped on anything. I pulled and squatted 300 before I started, taking anything.
That is impressive. Most because I find a lot of people, like I know some people who are like, listen, I want to start powerlifting, and then I'm immediately going to go on something. And I'm like, yes, Brad. Like I feel like you need to earn the right first, you know?
Yes. You have to earn the right to even think of that.
It's not a crutch. I think of it like it's like NOS in a car. It's like first you get up to speed, you get to like gear 4, 5, you're topping up at 180 kilometers per hour, then you hit the button.
100%. You have to see what you can do naturally. Try and get as close as you possibly can to what do they call it? Your natural potential, and then add on to that. Because again, I think PDs have been hyped up as to what they actually do. There's too much hype. People think that you're going to one day go from squatting 180 and then 2 weeks down the line you're going to squat 300. Which no lie.
I won't name names, but there was one oak who was deadlifting in like the 180, 190 range, and he was like, "Give me 1 year. I'm going for that 500K deadlift world record." And I looked at him like I started laughing because like surely the man's joking. Boy was dead serious.
Yes. You see, just based off that, you now you're realizing that people really don't understand what they do and what do they actually do. So I don't. Yeah, the guys were running a gram of train, and you're like, how are you still alive to be doing all of that?
And it's that whole mentality that more like if 400 milligrams can give me X, 800 milligrams must give me double, and then the 1.2 must give me. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
I suppose the other side to this is because there isn't enough education on it as much as people are talking about it. Yes, it's become more open and people are talking about what they're using, but not a lot of people are saying, look, this is what happens when you do this, or this is how it actually works, and this is what you need to consider before you do this. So that education, and even to be honest, if people were to educate, would people really listen?
That's the other side of the argument. The gym bros are going to be gym bros no matter what. But I feel like at least the 18-year-old kid who's on the fence, at least gonna be like, listen, dude, like wait until you're a little bit older. Wait until like your natural test levels have at least peaked. Wait until wait until you know how to train. First of all, you know how to handle your nutrition. You know all the basics, and then because once you use your trump card, it's like, well, now what? Like, what's your next step? You've used the best card in your hand.
That's the thing.
At the beginning of the game, what do you have left to go next to?
It's a trump card. It's that X factor. So if you've used your X factor in the beginning of the game, what's going to happen at the end?
Like those are the guys who think, okay, cool, I've been using 400, 500 milligrams of Tren for a year or two. Let me go up to a gram. I need the next step. And I'm like, Jesus, bro, like your career is going to be short-lived.
Just the thought of a gram of Tren, just
I don't know how to do that. Eh? I don't. I'm very conservative with my dosages. I'm like, like roughly speaking, if the max dose if the min dose is in the 300s and the max dose is in the 800s, I'm normally smack in the middle. Like I'm never
Yes.
pushing the higher echelons of what the recommended max is.
I tend to stray more to the minimum dosage because I don't want any mistakes. I don't want any because I am bigger, and truth be told, my diet is not that good at times. I tend to stray more to the minimum side of the game because I don't want any errors in the long run. So yeah.
Yeah. And I've always been of the opinion that the person who manages to lift the longest will be the strongest. Like it's like you can only get so strong in 1 year. You can get far stronger in 5. You can get far stronger in 10. Granted, you're in the right age bracket. So I'm like, play the long game.
It's a long game, Ed, and I think because of the constant 400s we see on Instagram and all these massive lifts, everyone is trying to do it next week, next year, and guys are not really giving themselves, myself included, actually. Let me preach to the choir. Guys are not giving themselves enough time to actually learn how their body moves, what sort of programming works for them, what sort of foods does the body respond to. We're not really giving ourselves time to understand ourselves as athletes and how we respond to different stimulus. So we want to do it next week. And if this guy says take this much and eat this, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And when we fail, we blame everyone else. But it's a long game. We and I'm preaching
It's
to
also
myself.
it's also the unwillingness to get professional help. I feel like in every other sport, you're like
Yes.
you'll look at someone like Tiger Woods, fucking best golfer, the GOAT, top of his game. He has a coach telling him what to do. He doesn't do it himself. If you look at Serena Williams, best freaking tennis player to ever live, she has a coach telling her exactly what to do. You look at like in rugby, they have coaches who are paid millions of rands to tell them what to do and how to do it. And somehow, when it comes to like strength sports, like, no, I'll do it myself. I'll be fine. Like you're not even gonna ask for advice, nothing, a guide, nothing.
I learned the hard way. I've learned the hard way, Ed. I've learned the hard way because I used to have that sort of mindset also, like this. I'll do it myself. Nah, it's fine. I'll just Google a few programs and see what I can put together. Doesn't work.
I think the reason why people even attempt is because it's technically possible. If you invest the time in learning and you're an objective person, it's technically possible. But like very, very few people will crack that problem. Very few people will crack that problem.
Use a very important word of if you're an objective person. If you can stick to the plan and not feel that, today felt good, I'm going to add 15 kilos to what I was supposed to do, and not think about next week. So some of us really do need coaches. Someone to just stick to the plan, relax, follow this.
Don't go overboard. I listen. I did it that way for fucking years, and now I look back on it like it wasn't wasted years. I'm a coach myself, so like I made a shit ton of mistakes myself, so I now know what mistakes to look out for a little bit better. So it made me a better coach in the long run. But like as an athlete, though, had I gotten a coach a year, 2, 3, 4 years earlier, I think I'd be leaps and bounds ahead of where I am now. I wouldn't have caused as much damage. Like I'm freaking injured up the wazoo now. And I'm like I could have avoided a lot of those injuries.
But again, for what, as you said, for what you're doing, that experience is serving you well because you know the mindset of an athlete. So for you, it's a positive and a negative. But for someone like me who's not a coach, it's an absolute negative because I've wasted time with a lot of the nonsense I've tried. Do I regret it? And this is the weird part. I've wasted time, but I don't regret it. Because not of the experience that I've gained, but how do I phrase this? I don't regret it because it taught me, I can't find the words to phrase this in because it's not experience that I'm looking for.
It was just the journey itself was. I know for me, it's while you're thinking. But
Yes,
for me,
yes.
it's like even though as an athlete it was probably detrimental,
Mm-hmm.
it was part of the fun I had doing it. And like for me, like with powerlifting, because powerlifting is not like a universal beloved sport, it's very niche, very few people do it. Even if you're a world champion, other people are like, oh, you're a world champion, that's impressive. And moving on to the next topic as fast as we can. So you don't get any fame or fortune out of the sport. So a lot of it for me is, am I having fun? So training myself, that was fun. So I for those reasons, I don't totally regret it.
Now, for me, it taught me to, because I'd have a stupid plan in mind and I'd actually follow through on it. So it taught me to actually believe in myself a little bit more. It was one of those things that actually, do you get what I'm saying? So for me, it taught me to actually believe and trust in my own abilities. Because there was 1 week, Ed, where I deadlifted 303 times in that week for sets of 3.
Yes.
It was on a Monday, and I did it the Tuesday again, and then I did it the Thursday. I'll never forget that week. That's one of the weeks where I was like, I might be decent at this. I might be relatively decent at this. Not knowing that what I was doing was completely stupid.
I have never, nor will I ever attempt to do that.
I don't advise anyone to do that because by the 3rd session I did that, I was in so much pain. Everything hurt. Everything.
But listen, who knows? Very few people on the planet could even attempt doing that, let alone succeed.
It was ridiculous. It was one of the most horrible things I've ever done. But as I said, it really taught me to. The fact that I had that and I followed through with it and I did it. I was like, okay, maybe I'm decent at this. I should try. Stick with it.
Stick with it. No, I get that. So yeah, there's pros and cons to both approaches. But like if your ultimate goal is to max out as an athlete and peak as absolutely high as you can, and that's what enjoyment is for you, yeah, you definitely want an objective, knowledgeable third pair of eyes on you who's like, okay, listen, like that's stupid. Believe me, I've tried it. Other people have tried it. I know what it resulted. We're not going to do it for you. We're going to skip a couple mistakes and get you here.
Yes, I agree with that.
So, are you ready for me to kick your ass next year? I hope you're ready. Have you prepared mentally? Have you talked to your shrink about how you're going to deal with the aftermath?
No. This is what I'm gonna do, Ed. I'm even thinking of not competing in the first half of the year to give you a chance to put up something decent and actually celebrate it for a few weeks, and then maybe look at doing something towards the end of the year and taking whatever goal you had in mind and smashing it in completely. What I want to take your best lifts and make them my openers. With the deadlift and the. That's what I want to do. I want to take your third attempts and make them.
You don't see me right now, do you? You're gonna take my third to make it open.
I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to compete in the first half. Take your final attempts and make them my openers. Because your squat is like my third warm up, so it's fine. That we can leave it there. Focus on the bench and the deadlift. Make those my openers, and then we take it from there.
Listen, your only hope here is you need to out squat me by a fucking shit ton. Because I am going to outbench you. We're neck and neck for days.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
telling
Absolutely
you.
not. My only hope in this is that I get injured. That's the only hope. Because not only am I going to out squat you by a ton, I almost probably outbench you. And that's a bold statement that I'm making. But I'm probably going to outbench you.
Not a chance. I would rather risk fucking breaking my neck by a bench press pinning me than let you outbench me.
I suppose you need to get ready for that because that's what's happening. So that's going to happen. Outbench you, and then after that, deadlift. deadlift, you've had your chance. You've celebrated the 360. It's a cute little lift. Now it's time for me to take over again and make things as they're supposed to be. That's all it's about. So
correct the universe. Is that what you're trying to do?
yes, no, because this is not. It's not right that you have a heavier deadlift than I do. So we need to correct and make everything all right.
You know what? You know what? I'm going to continue for the entirety of our lives. I'm going to have a heavier deadlift than you, and I will do it pulling lighter training numbers than you.
What was your heaviest deadlift going into Elite Raw in training?
My heaviest deadlift going to Elite Raw in training,
yes,
maybe 300. I think 300, 305, somewhere in that ballpark.
No, but we can't count Elite Raw because you did nationals before Elite Raw, which was 4 weeks up.
No, I did the qualifier. I did the
yes.
No, you're right. I did the qualifier. I think the heaviest that I did was like 305. I think I did a 315 2 weeks after that in preparation for Elite Raw. I think somewhere in that ballpark. I'll have to go back and check my program.
What am I heavy? I think my heaviest deadlift should be I think it was a double a double 320. I think.
I'll give you an interesting fact. I couldn't budge 290 off the floor before nationals. It was fucking glue. Couldn't for the life of me budge it. And this was like 3-4 weeks before nationals. And I was like, I don't know. Generally speaking, had I failed to total 800 at nationals, I would have been disappointed. Sure, I would not have been shocked.
Oh, I would have had a feeling. Oh, it would have been an amazing day.
Training was dog shit leading up to nationals. From warm-ups at squats, I was shook at how well things felt in the day.
That's the thing about you, Ed. You show up when it really matters, which is really annoying. But it should make it much more fun when I beat you, because that's the only way this is going to turn out.
What's our bet? I forgot about our bet. We have a bet going into this.
Oh, the first one to hit a 1,000 kilos owes the other one 1,000 rand.
$1,000 bet for 1,000 kilos. Cool.
So I almost probably do that first. I almost probably pull 400 before you. Yeah. So
you know what? You're on with that one. You're fucking on with that one. I'll pull 400 before you.
Absolutely.
Break my back. Do it if I have to.
No, it's not going to happen. I definitely will pull 400 before you. Most probably and more.
Listen, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, yeah. I fully expect you to out-total me next year. I fully expect it. I'm going into this knowing I am at a severe handicap here, but fuck it, I will kill myself crying.
And out-dots. It's not only out-totaling you, it's also out-dots. I have to also out-dot you. That's what's going to happen.
Wait a sec. What is the difference out dots? We have the exact same total right now. So my dots is higher because I came in like 15, 17 kilos lighter than you. Nah, you ain't gonna out dots me. Fuck that. Nah. You might out total me. Listen, I'll give you that much. You are a stronger human being than me, but I refuse to let you out dots me.
You can refuse all you want, Ed. You can refuse all you want. It's happening. I have to out dot you, and I have to out dot you. Because dots are the new thing now, so I'm following the new thing. I have to out dot you.
When did dots become the thing, right? Like the Danielle, same thing. She was like, "Oh, yeah, you have to beat my dots." I'm like, "Who the fuck uses dots?"
I've always been about totals, so now it's dots. So hey, dots it is. Let's go, dots.
Wait. When did it stop being Wilks? Like when did dots take over?
I think everything changed in the last 2 years. Because I listened to an interview Dan Bell was doing, and he was also complaining about the same thing where a few years ago it was Wilks, and then now, boom, it's dots. No one knows when it changed. We were just told that it's dots now. So, hey, dots it is.
Whatever. It's fine. I don't give a shit. You are not going to out-dots me. You might out-total me by a little bit, by a tiny amount. You will not out-dots me.
No.
You will not pull 400 before me. If you pull 400 before me, it's only because your comp was before mine. Now that would be like it. it will be within the same 3 month. Right.
No, it's not. If when I pull 400 before you, it will be because I'm significantly stronger. That's what it is. Let's
Sean,
not make excuses.
Listen, you squat circles around me, and I'll be the first person to admit that. For bench and for deadlift, though, I fucking refuse.
No, my bench is coming up, weird enough, and again, it's because of advice you gave me, actually. So you shot yourself in the foot with that. Bench is coming up, and then deadlift's also coming up, and weirdly, again, it's because of advice you gave me. So thank you.
I'm a glutton for punishment. I like making things hard for myself.
No, you're making it impossible, basically, because it's not going to happen. People are you in sleeves. That's the other thing we have to add to this. I almost probably do it in sleeves, and then come back and do it in wraps again. Before you even touch what I did in sleeves, I'll also do it in wraps. So I'll talk to you twice.
You know what? I wasn't planning on going to my physio for my knee, but I think I'm gonna give him a message now. Listen, Monday, I need my knee at 100%. Fuck this.
Get holy water, anointing oil, all of that. Get everything. Sort that out.
I'll get peptides in there. Inject straight into the knee. I will come 100%. Fuck you.
Everything, because next year, the aim is you have to obviously get the 2K total in next year. You have to do that.
Yeah, no, that's the plan.
That goes without saying. And then I have to beat that significantly, which I don't doubt that I can do. And then after that, I have to give you some time so you can have hope to catching up to me. And then once you think you're almost there, I then push the bar a little bit higher. Because you have to realize, Ed, that you matched what I did in my first comp on a bad day.
Also, it actually came as a shock to me when I realized that was your first comp ever. Because me and you have been beefing for a much longer time than you realize we've been beefing. Because I remember it was maybe like 2019. It was probably 2019. I saw you on Instagram. I'm like, who is this bear guy trying to squat and bench and deadlift more than me? I am the African champ of powerlifting in South Africa. There's no black dude better than me. Who is this fucker?
I was already squatting more than you, Ed. That's the first thing we need to look at, because I started following you in 2018, actually. 2018.
And that's probably when I got. Yeah, you followed me first. That's probably when I first got wind of you.
You pulled. I think you did the 335. There was Unleash the Beast here in Cape Town.
Yes.
I think it was 2018. Yes. That's where you pulled 335. And I was like,
also,
it's cute.
It still freaks me out how you know my previous numbers better than I do. It still freaks me out.
It's weird. Actually, I know a lot of people's numbers. I'm a student of the sport. It freaks me out also, something that the way I'm just following everyone. It's weird.
Like between you and Nicole, because Nicole, she doesn't memorize everyone's numbers, but she fucking knows. I think every power lifter in SA from middle ranking and up. She knows all of them by name, which club they're with, which comp they've done. I'm like what? You guys love this more than I do.
No, I really do. Interesting fact. Nicholas, when his first comp, he totaled 880.
Yeah.
His first comp, he totaled 880, and you still haven't beaten that. You just managed to match my total in my first comp.
You know what? I'm gonna sit
back. You're gonna tell me you're gonna beat me.
I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna work on me. Come platform, I'm just gonna be like, here's what I brought, sir. No. What you going?
That's what they all say when they started accepting defeat. I'm just gonna work on me. No, you called me out. Let's do this. There's no working on me here. You still have to focus on beating Nicholas.
Funny enough, everyone I've called out ever has always been someone who is technically better than me. That's my nature. I don't want to go into a battle I'm sure I can win. What's the fun in that? I want to be like, actually, if I do win, fucking well done.
That's true. But the only way you can beat me now is if my kneecap comes off or something insane happens. There's
I
absolutely no.
I want to beat you. I want to beat you when you are. I don't want you coming into that meet being like, oh, I tore my adductor or like, oh, my pec. I want you to fucking 100%. So when I beat you,
No,
there can be no doubt.
even with the torn abductor, I can still beat you. That goes without saying. Even with the torn abductor, you can see as if an injury would stop me. A little injury like an abductor would stop me from beating you. No, my kneecap would literally need to fall off, or my ankle literally twist and my foot face me for me to not be able to beat you. No.
We'll see.
Torn abductor, torn quad, whatever. Still, I'll be there.
I'm just saying. The competitive season's about to start. March, April. I don't give a shit when. Like four. Where we now? November. Like 4 or 5 months away. We'll see. We'll see all the way to all this shit talk league.
I think next year in terms of powerlifting, it's a very big year in the country.
There are a lot of like I was saying how both in the female and male scene, the top 12 sort of lists, or even the top 20 lists have been like more or less like they've been one or two switches here or there. But I think like next year and moving forward, I think it's going to shuffle dramatically on a constant basis.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of new guys also coming in quite strong. So it's fun to see that it's actually getting very competitive.
Like the shout out to the Genesis barbell folks. Like a lot of them are like came out of nowhere and suddenly they totaling in the high 7s, totaling in the low 8s. I'm like, fucking hell, what's going on here? Where did these guys come from?
Genesis, TK, Dan, Mark, Travis, those guys are going to be a problem.
They are.
Models also coming back. So
it's the what's the thing like someone doing a randomly high total out of the blue doesn't bother me. It's that rate of progression between that comp to that comp. That progress was actually that's legit. So if you extrapolate rate of progression, even if you expect diminishing returns, I'm still, I guess it's like a year from now, these oaks are a massive problem for me.
And they're still young. That's the issue, is that they're still in their 20s.
All of them are fucking, I feel ancient, man. I feel like powerlifters are meant to peak at 35. Why am I peaking young, old, and these guys are hitting their stride in their 20s?
It's ridiculous. It's fun to see. It's exciting, but it's also discouraging because you're like, when they're 29, what are they going to be doing?
What are they going to be doing? I'm telling you now. Because right now, like, Nicholas is the only dude with 1,000 kilo total. Colton's definitely doing 1,000 kilo next year, most likely. I think like 5 years from now, I think like our top 10 will like just be full of 1,000 kilo totals.
I think next year we might see 2,000 kilo totals from Colton and someone who's working very quietly, Kurt. Kurt has also been putting up.
Actually, his training numbers have been very impressive.
I think he did a closed grip bench press, 180 for 4 sets of 3.
I saw that. Fucking hell, man.
So it's next year we should at least see 2,000 kilo totals. And then I think more guys will be coming into the 900, 910, 920, 930 region. So when those guys come, and then the TKs and all of that, the 800s, mid 800s at 90 kilos.
And that's another thing. These oaks aren't heavy.
That's the thing. I think the heaviest is like 100 kilos with them, and 100 kilo class.
I think it's a 109. I think.
Yes. So, and interestingly enough, I did a push-pull comp end of 2021. Yeah. And actually, TK actually beat me in that competition. Interestingly enough. So I still need a one-on-one with him also. I need to find out from him which competition he's doing so that we can go head to head, because I still need to redeem myself for that.
I'm telling you, those oaks are doing well. Those oaks are doing well. But it's actually nice to see like a gym of that caliber come up.
Yes.
The people who go to that gym be fucking animals. As I'm saying, I think powerlifting, the South African powerlifting scene, I think in the next couple of years, like we're gonna be a world power.
No, it should be fun. I'm getting old, so I'm not going to do this for the Masters. 35, I'm done. There
It,
you go, 35.
I'm 1,000 kilos and I'm out.
That's
I'm,
it.
I'm not
Like, I think
I'm not gonna make it past that.
5-6 years of just competing and fine, and then after that, everyone, all the master lifters and all of that, major respect to them. I'm not planning on doing any of that. 35,
If
that's it.
if I
I'm done.
do, if I do, the problem now is okay. This no, I was about to say if I do, I'll probably that guy who like competes because he likes it. Because I like competition day. I love the last 6 weeks into a comp, fucking worst thing ever. But competition day, I'm having fun.
That's where we
So I was
differ.
thinking like I'll maybe like just get into it for the hell and shits and gigs of it. But I'm like no, I just realized if I do that, and idiots like you are still there, you're still the guys I'm going head to head with. It's like fuck that, no.
But that's where we differ, Ed. Where you like competition there. I'm not pro or anti-competition, but I enjoy training. That last 6 weeks leading up to comp is actually the part that I like.
Oh, no,
Competition day for me is just because of how hard it is. That those last 6 weeks are beautiful to me because of just how you have to grind through that and all of that. But competition day to me is like, okay, now I get to see basic. So there really isn't much work because you're actually just displaying the amount of work you've done,
display what you
basically.
really built. No, that building phases because that those are the days where okay, cool. I need to squat another heavy double or heavy triple today. I'm still cock sore from the last heavy squat session I did. I am still cock sore. I don't want mental effort. Like a heavy single for me is fucking easy. Like you can make me do a heavy single whenevs because like the mental strength I need for one rep is
Yes, yes.
for 3 reps, I need so much more. So much
I,
fucking.
I enjoy the rep work. I enjoy the heavy doubles and triples. Singles, not as much because I overthink. So
Okay.
I step up to the bar and then mess everything up because I just started doing things. So singles, not that much, but doubles, triples, yeah. That's why even with my prep, I try to avoid singles as much as possible because what I usually do is that my last heavy deadlift will be a double, and that is usually what I open on. Same with my squat; it's a double, and that's what I usually open on.
Fair. I mean,
Then I've been
actually, like the way my training methodology leading up to just before I started with David, and then David's methodology as well. Like, I'll maybe do a single, but the single isn't necessary. Like, it's a weight I could probably do a double or triple on. It's never like a. You get those oaks who like max out before comp. I'm like, listen, I'm too old to risk it. If I max out and blow my back, I mean that's me done.
no, that 100% you say for the platform because you never know what's going to happen. You max
You
out and
never
then,
know.
as you said, you pull something and then that's it. You can't compete now. All of that hard work just to pull out of the last 2
And,
weeks.
and like I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Unless I've done it on the platform, I might as well have not done it. I couldn't give a shit
Yes,
what my gym PBs are.
yes,
Couldn't give a shit.
true, true. It's. I think I had a discussion with the youngster James about this. That if you are a competitive powerlifter, what matters is what you do on the platform. The gym sets you up to be able to have a good performance on the platform. So if you are a competitive powerlifter, we need to take into account what did you do on the platform. And that's what technically counts. Now, it's not to say that what you did in the gym is nonsense or any of that, but what technically counts is what did you do on the platform. And that's been my logic with prep, that I refuse for any of my top of my squat, bench, or deadlifts to be the heaviest lift to be in the gym. I refuse. I
Yeah.
refuse. I'd rather match it on the platform than that's still fine. But I refuse to have a heavy deadlift in the gym and then not get it in on the platform. And again, that's just me. That's just me.
I'm the same. I'm the same. I have not had a gym PB heavier than my platform PB in years. It just doesn't. My programming isn't set that way anymore.
I think it also comes with age. So the older you get, the more you realize that I have to save these 100% efforts for when it matters because
Yeah, because
you
they take
can't.
more out of you. like 100% effort. Like I feel for a long time afterwards.
Yes. But what I usually do, especially now, what happened was I just got mentally tired of this whole powerlifting and everything. So I went on a boutless tour. That's what I call it. I just started pulling boutless for no reason. Not planned. It was basically my off season. So I just went and pulled boutless every now and then, squatted boutless. Enjoyed it. It was fun. I liked it. And then now I'm training boutless. I think I'm going to keep this up for some time until I buy a buckle because, interestingly enough, during the prep for this comp in November, both my buckles broke. So that was also a sign to not do the comp. It was my Seabus buckle, and then my Savage buckle.
If anyone's looking to sponsor an athlete, you guys right here needs a belt.
I'll eventually buy a buckle. It's just it's also the one thing that we don't talk about a lot in the sport is how costly it is.
And you know, it like certain sports are inherently expensive. Like golf, for example, you need to pop 3, 4, 5, 10 grand, like a bunch of clubs before you even start. Whereas like powerlifting is like you can squat, bench, and deadlift in whatever the fuck you're wearing. You don't technically need the equipment, but fuck man, if you're benching heavy, wrist wraps they feel really good. And if you're squatting really heavy, a good pair of knee sleeves feel fucking amazing. And if you're deadlifting and squatting really heavy, a belt helps you get that extra edge. And then all these shits add up. You're like, I spent 10K on this fucking sport.
I'm still contemplating getting an SBD belt because I used, it was about a year ago, I used Heinrich. He's a strongman. Guy, competitor, Heinrich's belt, SBD belt. I've never felt anything like that. It was the best feeling I've ever had when deadlifting. The way it hugged my body and everything. I was like, to this day, I'm still contemplating.
My whole thing is because I want to earn. Like I've been doing this thing with myself where I want to earn my next belt. Because like my belt, the Beast Genetics belt, it's like how old now? Maybe like 5, 6, 7 years old now. And it works perfectly fine. Like it's like a solid belt will last you a lifetime, and it's pro too, so you don't have like buckle breaking issues. But I'm like, okay, cool. If I'm gonna get a new belt, I want to feel like I earned the right to get a new belt, and that's my whole thing. Like I want to earn the things I get. I want to earn my way. So I'm like, okay, cool. If I get a 2K total, if I get a 2K pound total, I'm gonna buy myself a custom Pioneer belt. That's a deal I made with myself.
Oh, that's a nice one. Just don't put the buffalo on it because that's a stupid nickname. Just don't. That's a ridiculous nickname. Just don't do that. That's
in my defense. I didn't give it to myself.
Who gave you that nickname?
It was. I worked for a company called Jeff. They were online fitness platform. They went on this whole this one campaign where all the instructors had like different animal themes, and like all the cool ones were taken because I was a last minute addition. And they're like, "Oh, what's left? Want to go like Big 5 vibes or like African vibes? Like, a buffalo. We still got the buffalo. Like, hey, you're the buffalo." I was like, "Okay,
stop it. Leave that name alone. That's it. Ugh. Just leave that name alone. Ugh. You call yourself the buffalo. Like, really? That's it. The buffalo. Ugh.
I mean, I'm black. I'm African.
Big 5 animals. It's you try. It sounds like you're trying too hard. The buffalo. I'm the buffalo. No, I'm so strong. No, relax. No, leave it alone.
Okay, sir. I think you've insulted me enough. Listen, thanks so much for coming on. I'd love to have you on again. This was absolutely so much fun. Is there any? You're not sponsored, are you? Don't you got any people you want to plug? Who would plug? Who would sponsor?
Sponsors my bank account. I sponsor myself. I have no sponsors at the moment. I'd like to thank Standard Bank taking account for sponsoring me. But no, I have no sponsors. Who would I like to thank? Firstly, I must say thank you to you, Ed, for the platform. I think this platform is going to do great things. It's really exciting. The episode you did with Danielle was amazing. It was really, really fun.
She's a lot of fun.
I still don't understand why you wanted to do an episode with me, but it's fine. Uh, Looking forward to seeing who you're going to have on the platform next, and all that. And this is going to do big things in the country. And then, yeah, the people I'd like to thank, most probably, I'll thank them in person because it's my family, it's my partner, my girlfriend, and then obviously Genesis Barbell. TK has been very helpful in the past couple of months. That's one person I'd like to thank. And then Olivia also. Olivia, actually, weirdly enough, she was literally like my training partner for the comp I did in April.
Really? I get that.
She
Okay,
supported
sick.
me from week one till I was on the platform. She was the one who was there. I was bouncing ideas off of her. She scares me. I'm frightened of her, but she's been a very, very, very supportive person. So I would like to personally and publicly thank her. And then yeah, again, I think, man, one person I wish I had the opportunity to thank personally is the late Andre, because
Yeah.
he also contributed a hell of a lot to the sport. Also personally, when I'm prepping, I can be very annoying, but he had a way of being able to handle that annoyance and really helped me out a lot for that comp. And then also his wife, Alodia, everything they've done for the sport and that she still continues to do. I'm very grateful, because I used to spend time with them when I was around them, asking them questions, finding out what it actually takes for them to do this and what they have to give up. And
Hmm.
it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, man.
I don't
Also,
think there's any singular person or singular couple who have given up more for the sport than they
yeah,
have. Like it's
yes,
honestly,
man, wholeheartedly grateful for what they've done. Alma also, Heinrich, they've also just been unbelievably helpful to the sport and personally in different capacities. So yeah, I really those are the people I want to say thank you to, and that I'm really grateful. Yeah. Also, thank you, Ed, for making sure that when I beat you, it's gonna be sweet. Yeah, that's just.
fuck you, sideways. Thanks for coming and wasting over an hour of my time. I will not ask you again. No, I probably will. It's been fun having you, dude. I could sit here and talk to you all fucking day, but I'm not going to. I'm fucking hungry now. Are you frozen or am I frozen? One of us is frozen. I'm going to say it's him. So that's the end of the show. Thanks for watching, folks. If you want to follow Sipo and any of the people we talked about, description down below, and we'll check you in the next one.